Now let's start creating some blend shapes. The first thing I'm going to do is to hide all my joints with Ctrl H. And now I am going to duplicate my head geometry and my eyebrows geometry with Ctrl D, and I'm gonna put them in a group. This group is gonna be called Blend Shape Geometries. I'm going to rename this geometry with Head Blend Shape Geo and Brows Blend Shape Geo. I am going to use these geometries to work my blend shapes. At the end of the workshop, we are going to have 3 different head geometries. The one on the main rig, that is this one we already did. We're going to have one mesh for the blend shapes and another one for the extra joint setups we are going to do on the last videos of this workshop. At the end, we will see how to connect all of them into one rig. I will do it like this to have 3 different layers of deformation on our rig. This way, we will have a better order, a better performance, and it's gonna be easier for us. Now, I am going to hide the first geometries we used in our rig, so I can only use the blend shape geometries. I am going to start creating the blend shapes for the mouth. So I'm going to select the head blend shapes geo I created, and I'm going to open the shape editor. Animation editor, shape editor. While selecting my geometry, I am going to click create blend shape, and I'm going to rename it. I rename it as main blend shape, or maybe main face blend shape. This is the node that will store all our blend shapes. Now I am going to select the node I created and click add target. This will create one blend shape for my head. I'm going to rename this as left mouth out. Remember that when naming blend shapes, you need to have underscores and not spaces, because if you have spaces, it will not allow you to change the name. When we created a blend shape, we can see this red button that says edit, and we can also see here that it says editing blend shape target. That means that we are on editing mode. So every change we do in our geometry is gonna be saved in this blend shape. If we click edit, we are now out of the edit mode, and every change we do here is not going to be saved in our blend shape. So we need to be very careful to not forget to be on edit mode when we want to modify our blend shape. Now I'm going to create my first blend shape. So I will be sure that I am on edit mode, and I'm gonna select the loop of the corner of my mouth. This is going to be an out movement of the left corner. So I'm gonna do a soft selection with B. And if I hold B, I can grow my selection. And I don't want an X movement just like that, right? Of course, neither a C movement, so I will do a combination of both. And I will be sure that I only use these ones, Z and X, because I don't want to use Y. We're going to do separate blend shapes for moving the mouth up and down. So this is just going to be a translate on X and Z. So I will do something like that probably. And then I'm going to do a rotation. So I don't have this clipping and I can maintain this volume here. Now I'm going to move these vertices a little bit more. Let's see how is this working. I think actually this is too much, so it was fine like that, yes. So let's see. Yes, I like this movement. The only thing that I will want is to have, of course, to fix this. So I will go to my sculpting tools here on the sculpt shelf. We have different tools. I'm gonna use this one. With this one, you can move the vertices very organically. And if you click Shift, you can smooth this. Another tool that is very useful is this one, that is called Smooth Target Tool. If you use it, this is going to smooth your mesh, but it's going to smooth between your blend shape and between your neutral position. So this is kind of erasing your blend shape, but getting it back to the neutral position. So it is, in my opinion, it is better in most of the cases than a normal smooth, because a normal smooth will make you maybe lose your initial shape. So this is just going to smooth your blend shape. I will use this a little bit here, and now I'm gonna check how is this working. For example, I don't like these movements right now. So if I smooth, I will lose this shape. But if I use this tool that is smoothing between my neutral pose and the blend shape, it's just going to remove this movement. So that's it. I cannot use it more because if you see, it already removed the movement that we had there with the blend shape. I would like to have a little bit more volume here. Probably you just use these ones. You can use the sculpting tools, but I like to know which vertices I am moving. I am a lot about modeling more than sculpting, so it's up to you. And then if you press 3, you can see your smooth view. So actually I think it's a lot better to see it, how it's working with this. Okay. I will add more volume here. I want this to be a very cartoony model, so I will actually exaggerate a little bit everything. I'm liking this movement. Probably, yes, I want this corner to move a little bit more, just this area. So I will grab again, I will grab the same corner loop, and I will just move this one, but with a very tiny soft selection. Yes, this feels better, yeah. Of course, I want this to feel that the movement of the muscles is here, not in all the lips. I want this to feel like all the muscles are connected to this loop. So I want to feel that. I want to have that feeling. I'm gonna move these loops a little bit more to the neutral pose. So that's why this tool is very useful. And this feels a lot better. Okay. I would probably want a separation. I feel like this crease is very close to my lips. So I actually want a little separation there. So I'm gonna do that. Let's try to do that. I'm gonna move vertex by vertex actually for this one. So I'm gonna do something like that. So you always need to keep in mind to know which one is your line. Which one is going to be this line. So for me, this is going to be the loop. So this line marks like a division, and everything that is on the other side of this line is going to gain some volume. Yeah, something like that is a lot better. If you see you have some space here, and then you have this deformation. So that's what I was looking for. Like I want some clean space first before I have my crease of the mouth. This is going to be my shape. I'm gonna move this a little bit more just so I feel some movement here. Probably something like that, just a little bit. I don't want a lot of movement, but I want this to feel a little bit more organic, yes, like that. And that's gonna be my left mouth blend shape. Now let's do a blend shape for the up and down movement of the mouth. We already have this one finished. So I am going to click my blend shape node and click again add target. But before that, I'm gonna get out of the edit mode and I will click add target. And now we are on edit mode, but of our second target. I will modify the name to left mouth up. I'll probably add the suffix blend shape for all of them, or the suffix shape. It can be both because it depends on what you're going to do. But if you're going to add corrective blend shapes or maybe combo blend shapes, it's better to specify if this is just a shape, because blend shapes will be all of them. So I will write, remember to have the underscore, left up mouth blend shape. We have nothing here now, but we are on edit mode. So let's sculpt our next blend shape. This is going to be up. So I will grab the corner of the mouth and I'm gonna go to my soft selection. I'm going to move this up, just up. Be sure that now it's the inverse. So you're not going to use this axis because these axes are already manipulated by the left mouth out blend shape. So now we're only going to use Y axis up, probably a little bit more. I like to have a little bit influence on the center loop and maybe a little bit here, but not that much. Just like that. I think that's perfect. And now I'm gonna do a rotation because I don't like this movement. So I'm gonna do this rotation. I'm gonna fix this later, probably. I'm gonna, yeah, something like that. Probably a little bit more. Okay, I will fix this later. So I will just be sure that I have the correct shape I want. I want something like that. Probably this a little bit more. Something like that. Yeah, I like this one. So this is my next blend shape. It's up. If you want to smooth a little bit the weights from here, you can use this tool that is, this one is the Relax Tool Smooth or the Smooth tool. So these ones are a little bit different. They are kind of the same, but this is Relax, this is Smooth. I will use Smooth for this one so I can smooth these loops a little bit. I will smooth all this area. You can do double click here, and now you can manipulate the influence, the strength or something like that. So I will go with more strength. But I prefer to do this manually. I will use now the other one that is Relax. This is Relax. It's a little bit different, you will see. The behavior is a little bit different, so you can try both and see which one gives you the best result. And I will move all these vertices manually. So let's see. I will use my graph tool, this one. With this one you can move the polygons. And if you click shift, you can smooth. So it's nice to have a combination of both, like moving and then smoothing a little bit. Remember that you want to have a nice edge flow. You want to have kind of the same size of quads here. Right now, I don't like the movement of these vertices because they're supposed to be bone here. So I don't like this area to have this kind of deformation. So there's another very useful tool that is this one, that it's called Erase Target tool. So if I click it, it erases all the movement you did on the blend shape. So this is the neutral pose of this area. So this is a very useful tool. If you see now, this doesn't move at all. It's super useful. And I want this to move, but up. No, I don't want to move this vertex deeper. I just want to move them up a little bit, maybe. Let's see how this is working. And this is working a lot better. Now I'm gonna do my down movement of the mouth. So I'm going to click edit to get out of my edit mode, click my node and add target and rename it with the same name, but with down. I will do the same first thing, that it's grab my corner vertices of the mouth And I'm going to drive all these vertices down with the soft selection. I would ideally try to use exactly the same soft selection I used for the up movement. So the movement is exactly the same. I remember it was something like that, so that's why I'm using this one. But it's ideal to use exactly the same. And I will rotate. I will do the same behavior. Going down. And what I like to do is to have the same exact movement up and down. For example, I will try to use a measurement tool, for example. I can use that. It is probably too much, but I like to be very specific with my shapes. So I'll click Create, Measurement Tools, Distance Tools. So you can actually do something like that. You can have a measurement here. I will do another one. I have two measurement tools here. I will just scale these locators a lot. And I can actually have, for example, these two locators in the same position on Y, that it's gonna be 12.5, for example, something that is exactly in the corner. Maybe a little bit, I need a little bit more. I will use this vertex as reference. And let's see if this blend shape drives up until to here. So it's something, I mean, it doesn't need to be perfect, of course, but I like to have kind of the same distance. So it's a 0.9, so I would like a 0.9 going down. So just to be sure that you have like the same range up and down, it's something I like to do. So I will be sure that this vertex, for example, I need a little bit more. You see, I would like, I mean, it's almost the same actually. I was very precise from the beginning, but for example here, okay, I think it's the same now. So just so you are sure that you have the same range up and down, you don't need to do these measurements tools. I think it's a little bit too much, but this is just as an example. So I will erase them. I think this is moving very forward, so I will try to push this a little bit backwards. Something that feels a little bit more natural. Yes, this feels a little bit more natural. And I will do the same. I will smooth everything with my smooth tool. Smoothing all this area. I will move all these vertices down with my grab tool. And then if I hold shift, I can smooth this. So I will do the same process. I'm exaggerating the movement, so then I can smooth and everything is going to go a little bit backwards. Okay, so let's check this movement now. This feels a lot better. Maybe this is moving too much, so I will smooth a little bit. Yes, I like this movement. I am liking it. This is my up. I feel this has a better curve than the down movement, so I will fix that a little bit on this shape. I want to have kind of the same curvature on both. Like something like that. Yeah, this feels kind of the same. What I want is this to feel like if this is a -1 blend shape. If you actually change the number 0 to 1 to -1, I want to have kind of the same shape. Obviously, you don't want all this. That's why you do another blend shape and you don't manipulate this like that. But you can actually do that if you want. But I don't. I feel it feels a lot more organic actually. But you need specific movements for up and down. So I will just do separate blend shapes for them. Now, if you see, I have this because I did a -1 and 1. So the only thing you need to do is to close the shape editor and open it again, and it's gonna be like it was before. Just have 0 to 1. Let's go to the next one that is going to be the in movement. We did out, up, down, and now we are gonna do in. So I'm gonna click edit to get out of my edit mode, add a target, and rename it with the same name, but instead of out, it's gonna be in. we are in edit mode right now. So I'm going to do the same first step. I'm gonna grab that corner loop, and I'm going to push all these inwards. Okay, I think this is the hardest blend shape of the mouth. It's hard to get it correct because it feels always very weird. Actually, in animation, it's always a hard shape to achieve for the O shapes, and there's a lot of different shapes you want to use this blend shape. So let's be very careful with this one. I need a lot more movement, so I will move more vertices. I will probably grow my selection, but I don't want to move all these vertices, of course, so I will just remove these ones. Same for the inside part of my mouth. And I will decrease my soft selection. I'm gonna move all these like that. So yes, I will try to get as far as I can. Even that I didn't use any y-axis like up and down, I feel like this is going down. So I will fix that a little bit. That's actually more like a modeling or design issue, because the neutral pose, it means that the neutral pose is not exactly straight. We can see that. Yes, we can actually see that. This corner is a little bit down, so that's why we see this movement. But that's why it's ideally to have the mouth modeled straight, like a straight line, like that. But in this case, this has a little curvature, so that's why we have this behavior. So we'll need to fix it with a blend shape, moving this a little bit up. It's not the best, but yeah, sometimes we need to do this kind of work. And once we have our range done, we need to soft all the area. So I'm gonna use my soft tool, and I'm going to smooth all these vertices. I will also use my move tool, the grab tool, to get all these vertices a little bit closer. I will exaggerate a little bit the movement, and I will move all this part of the cheek also. And now we need to soft also the lips. Be sure that you look at all the angles. For example, here I see that I'm losing volume here. So I'm going to use my standard tool. This is the sculpt tool. It's gonna lift the vertices. You can manipulate the strength here. So we'll use a number 1. I think by default this is at 100 or something like that. So be sure to move this setting around. And smooth a little bit more. So I'm gonna smooth all this shape. I want to have a better transition here. Once I did that, I want to push the center of the lips a little bit forward, like a kiss shape, for example. So I will actually move these vertices. Maybe even the center one. I can fix that later, so no problem. I'm not very worried about that. And this is going to be my in blend shape.